The Philippine Army, responsible for ground warfare and currently has an estimated strength of over 100,000 soldiers, backed by 120,000 ready reserves. The army traces its roots in the Philippines to the Philippine Revolutionary Army founded in 1897. Before the service branch was established on December 21, 1935 as the Philippine Commonwealth Army. The Philippine Army has engaged in many conflicts including the ongoing communist rebellion in the Philippines and the Moro conflict, and other conflicts worldwide. The Chief of the Army is its professional and overall head. Its main headquarters is located at Fort Andres Bonifacio, Metro Manila. After 3 centuries of Spanish rule, there were calls for social reforms and an end to the perceived oppressive friar rule. In 1896, Andres Bonifacio founded the Katipunan to prepare his band of Filipinos for armed revolt against the Spanish government. The Katipunan formed an army of insurgents. Almost a year after the outbreak of hostilities between the Katipuneros and the Spanish troops, Emilio Aguinaldo's newly formed the Philippine Revolutionary Government and its army were officially born on March 22, 1897 at Tejeros, San Francisco de Malabon in Cavite. General Artemio Ricart was named Captain General of the Ejército en la República de las Islas Filipinas or the Revolutionary Philippine Army. This date marks the founding day Philippine Revolutionary Army. On June 12, 1898, General Emilio Aguinaldo declared Philippine independence from Spain and formed the First Philippine Republic, in which he sat as its president. The Filipino troops were to enjoy only a brief respite from combat when American forces came in to establish rule in the islands by virtue of the Treaty of Paris, which Spain co-signed with America on December 10, 1898. The treaty ceded the Philippines to the United States during the final years of the Philippine-American War, with the notable successors by the All-Filipino Macabebe Scouts Cavalry Squadron as part of the United States Army, with full effect starting from October 1901. Earlier, in August that same year, came the colonial civil government's decision to found the Philippine Constabulary as the National Gendarmerie Force for Law Enforcement. Both of these organizations and their victories over the PRA contributed to the official end of the conflict in 1902, even as resistance continued through 1914. Starting in 1910, Filipino personnel in the Philippine Scouts were sent to the United States Military Academy with 1 PS soldier being sent per year. Several of these graduates who served with the Scouts, plus PC officers, both formed part of the 1st Officer Corps of the revitalized Philippine Army established in 1935. The Philippine Army of today was initially organized under the National Defense Act of 1935 that formally created the Armed Forces of the Philippines. The act specified that insofar as may be practicable, original appointments by the President in grades above 3rd Lieutenant should be made from among former holders of reserve commissions in the United States Army, from among former officers of the Philippine Scouts and Constabulary. After the establishment of the Philippine Commonwealth on November 15, 1935, President Manuel L. Quezon sought the services of General Douglas MacArthur to evolve a national defense plan. The official rebirth of the Philippine Army occurred with the passage of Commonwealth Act No. 1, approved on December 21, 1935, which affected the organization of a Council of National Defense and of the Army of the Philippines. The act set forth the organizational structure of the Army in some detail, set forth enlistment procedures, and established mobilization procedures. With this act, the AFP was officially established. The development of the new Philippine Army was slow. The year 1936 was devoted to the building of camps, organization of cadres, and the special training of instructors, drawn largely from the Constabulary, which joined the new force as the Constabulary Division. The commander of the Philippine Department provided Philippine Scouts as instructors and detailed U.S. Army officers to assist in the inspection, instruction, and administration of the program. By the end of the year, instructors had been trained and camps established. The first group of 20,000 men was called up on January 1, 1937. And by the end of 1939 there were 4,800 officers and 104,000 men in the reserves. Infantry training was given at camps scattered throughout the Philippines. Field artillery training was concentrated in the vicinity of the U.S. Army's Fort Stotzenburg near Angeles, about 50 miles north of Manila, and specialized training was given at Fort William McKinley just south of Manila. Coast artillery instruction was carried on at Fort Stotzenburg and at Grande Island in Subic Bay by personnel supplied largely by the American commander at Corregidor. With the threat of war with Japan becoming imminent, on July